Hey everyone, so we are continuing our video about WebClient. There is already one video about WebClient where we have covered the first part, like calling the third party, basic stuff, basic setup there. Respective source code is present here on this link. You can go ahead and check this out. These are the topics that we covered in the first video, all about WebClient. What is this? Why it came into picture? Comparison with the REST template also. Created product microservice, created product client microservice, that is calling the product microservice. We covered these topics like how to make post, put, get, delete call, how to do the query call, how to add headers and cookies while calling the third party. This video we are going a step ahead. Exception handling is a critical part that we are going to do right now in this video. Setting up timeout, we don't want to wait indefinitely if third party is not responding. We want to set up some timeout. We also want to do a retry things. In first call it is not passing. Let's try some more time. Filters. Before calling the third party, I want to add some custom headers. I want to put loggings, request response, any sort of thing. Authentication also, I can do that in the filters part. Logging and debugging is yet another thing that will, logging and debugging, it's something that when first three parts are covered, I'll cover that last, but it is very critical and important. So let's go ahead and let's go to the IntelliJ and try to add these things. So we have this product microservice already. I have started it. That will be called from the product client service. So I have to make changes here. So we have this product client controller where I have all these endpoints. So let's go to the get endpoint that we have. Okay, and here I want to put some sort of exceptions here, like handling. So first is the get call, like HTTP method get. Then I am forming the URI, then I am retrieving it, then body to mono, and then block is there. So before body to mono, I have this method. If you type status, there are two methods you will see, on status, on raw status. So first I'll try this on status. So if you press Ctrl plus, you will see the options here. HTTP status goes 200, 1xs, 3xs, 5xs, xx. Okay, so let's see this one. And response, how I want to handle it. So this is the lambda way that I'm trying it out here. So let's see, this is 5xx server error. So while calling this API, the URL that I have configured while instantiating the web client, if it throws a 500 errors, 500 not, but 5xx, it covers all the 5, like 503, 501, 502, everything it covers. If that exception is thrown, this block of code will be executed. So it is up to us how I want to handle it. So let's say I want to I want to throw our own exception here, right? Mono dot. So this is the exception that I want to throw. So to make it throwable, I have to extend runtime exception here, and here super s, pass it to upstream. Okay, so now this is exception. That's it. So that's how it is written. So I also want to put some logging. So I have to create the logger. So I'm putting log.error. Alright, so this is going to take the all 5xx. So there are more exceptions also. I can chain that subsequently. Okay, so let's put on status. So there is HTTP status. So let's say 4xx client error I want to handle here. Response, and in here also I want the similar kind of exception. So let's say I want to say product not found exception. So this exception is already there. So these are the two errors that I have handled it, and it gives you the pretty good idea how you want to handle it in the web client cases. So if you have put methods, post method here, so for any cases after retrieve you can change this method here. Okay, so now let's try to execute this one and see this working. Okay, so I'm starting this service here, so hopefully it should start, and when I try to get something from here and simulating these errors, actually I should be able to get the issue. Okay, like these things in action, like I should be able to see this logging, I should be able to see these logs. There is one more thing, like as of now I haven't put a global exception handler, but I'll just do that now after we have seen this as running. And also there are more than one ways to handle the exception. So this is the one way that I'm showing. There are others also, I will introduce you to that. Hopefully server is started. Let's head to the Postman. So here we have create endpoint, where I can create the product. So these are the attributes. We have seen this in the previous videos. I have shown you in detail. So this is endpoint that I'm going to pass the name Java book, and this is the price that I'm going to pass, and I should be able to get the success response from the service that this product has been added. Yeah, I got the response that this has been added. So this is the first product that I added, so I know the ID, so I can go to this product and I can get past this one, and I should be able to get the ID. So this is the happy scenario that I have got the book. So now let's say let's try to simulate the internal server error. So let's try to hit the product that is with ID 2 and see the console. There is nothing in here, so just clearing it out. So send the 2 internal server error on this path. See, because 2 is not there, ideally it should be product not found exception, but that is not handled in that way, right? So I have not written anything for that. That is why it has written given me the internal server error. So the main thing is that our piece of code is executing. My exception, my custom exception server issue is coming here, internal server error, right? Product client service is coming, and this. So internal server error. Basically this part I'm getting here, this 5xx error, right? So now it's up to us how I want, like I have to put the global exception handler, and I have to customize what response code I want to return it. So ideally when any product is not found, I should put the exception handling in this product service that this product does not exist in the system, right? But this is how it is. For demo purpose it should be fine if it is just returning a runtime exception also. The thing is, product client service, I want to handle that. Okay, so this my custom exception server issue, whenever it is giving, I want to return the I want to return my own status code here. Okay, so let's try to create that custom exception handler and see how it is working. So I will go ahead and create one more class, and this is pretty straightforward. So first thing what I have to do, I have to just put a annotation that is controller advice, and in here I have to write the methods. And in here I want to pass the same exception that my service is throwing. The message that I'm setting up, I want to pass it on, and next I want to, in the second argument I can specify that what status code I want to return. HTTP status dot, let's say in here in this specific case it is returning like product not found, so I want that it should return not found. So idea is that so here and this T, what type it should be there, this is also important. So this is where I'm passing just a string. So this response entity first type that you were sending, it should be same here as well. Here I'm passing the string, so it should also be that string. Okay, so the client will get a one-liner exception that whatever that message is there, and I should be able to get the this access code. There is a this is not the best way to handle the exception. Like this is not the best way to return a single string. I should be able to pass on more informations, right? Because if I see right now I'm getting timestamp status error path. All right, so but that is done by the Spring internally, so I can do this same thing in here as well. So there is already a video about this one on the same channel, so I don't want to repeat that. I will give the link in the description box itself. Okay, you can go ahead and check that out, what are the different ways to do the custom exception handling. All right, so I will just show you that. If you go to the channel and search for custom exception handler, you will get that link, custom exception handling. Okay, so this is the number 6 video on the microservices demo by this Spring Boot. There is a detailed explanation on this one, you can check this out. Okay, here I'm just showing that there is a way to customize the like exception handling that is provided by Spring. Okay, here one more annotation I have to put, exception handler, and here I have to pass this class whatever I want to catch it. So whenever this exception is raised, this method will be executed. Okay, so restart the server and try to execute this again. I should be able to get the not found now. Not this one, coming to Postman. So now try to hit the number 2 again. Yeah, internal server error, and in here I got the 404 not found. Okay, on the log side it is handled properly, so that is why this internal server error record is coming. No stack trace is coming as of now. Okay, so this is how we can handle the exception. We can chain it. 404 is coming, other stuffs are coming, so I can do this in here. Okay, so what next on this one? So there is a way on the exception handling side itself. I can there is like other ways also, right? So if I try to do it in here, so like retrieve method is there, on raw status was there, right? So raw status, it's something, if you see this is 500xx and 4xx client error, if you, it encompasses, it contains all the 4xx errors like 401, 2, 3. But if I want to handle specific thing differently like 404 and 403, how can I do that? So use on raw status here. So let's say so in here status, and in here I can pass mono error, my service exception. So any other exception I can hit it here, return mono dot error. Okay, so on raw status, so you see the difference. On status, it's something that I can use internally. On raw status there, see, if I want to segregate it further, 403, 404, that can also be done. And this is not like I cannot do in here, so same thing I can chain it here. Okay, so this will be applicable here as well. So if I try to execute this one, and our service is returning 403, like third party service is returning 403, so this piece of code will be executed. Okay, so these are the two ways. There are like multiple ways actually. WebClient has many ways. If I show one more way, like this is the retrieve one, right? So there is another way like exchange to mono function is there, and in here it has client response, and in here I can now I have more control on this client response, so I can do my custom logic. If client response dot status is, I can compare it like if it is a 4xx, 5xx, 2xx. So let's say if it is a 2xx successful. So what do I want to do with this one? So I want to return mono dot, not mono actually. So if we have client response in here, dot body to mono. And this is the class that I have. This is the like actually type that is coming from third party, where whenever we are calling that one, not this one actually, this is the response actually, I'm sorry, this is coming, yeah, that is going to work. So if and else, if it is not 2xx, I want to throw an exception, right? Return mono dot error throwable. I can, so let's say I want to throw from here runtime exception. Some exception is there. Okay, so this is yet another way that I can do. So if I am doing this exchange to mono, this body to mono is not needed, because this one I already have handled it. Exchange to mono is there, client response is there, status code I got it here, body to mono it is doing this one, and this is fine. Okay, and this is the create product scenario. Okay, so let me simulate this and see if it is working properly or not. Okay, so restarting the service, and I'll simulate this part. And if we are restarting it, so just put some logging. Okay, so log dot so these are the two things that I will simulate, first success response and then this error one. Okay, so our service started coming to postman. So I had this under postman. So let's create a product. So this should give me a success response. Okay, so if I expand it a bit, so I got the success response, and this log is coming from in here. This is coming from here, right? So now let's simulate internal server error kind of thing. Okay, so let's pass price as a string, which is integer. So let's say what it returns. Again, it is giving me success response. Okay, it is able to handle that one properly. So what should I give that? Let's say pass it null. Yeah, okay, there is no handling around this one actually. It is taking anything that I'm passing in here. Let's do one thing. Let's go to product service and try to simulate a error scenario in here. Okay, so coming to product service here, where is the create product? So if it is there, so if I can if so this is the exception that I want to throw it, and let's restart this product service application. So only product service restart is needed. So whenever I will I'll pass the product name as null, I should be able to get this exception. So there is no while creating the service, I did it like just for the demo, so there is no business logic as such in here, you can see. So coming to postman now, so I have this product here, right? So hit this again. So I'm passing null here, right? So I got the internal server error. So if I come to product client and go to console, I should be able to see this part, some exception, right? Error occurred while creating the product. So this exception is coming, and this I can see here, some exception. So our block of code, whatever I am doing handling, that is executing. That was the target of this one, right? You got the thing, how to do the logging, how to do the exception part, right? So now let's move to timeout and retry. So we have again this product client service, and which method, which endpoint should I use the timeout part. So let's simulate this on this delete. But whatever I'm going to show in this delete endpoint, it is going to be applicable for other cases as well. Okay, so come to this body to mono. After this one, if you click timeout, so you will see under timeout there are different methods: publisher, duration, and this one scheduler, how much I want to. So for our use case, I'm going to show you the timeout first one that is there. So duration dot of millis, I want to wait for, let's say, 700 milliseconds. Okay, and then I want to print something. I'll wait for 700 milliseconds. If I got the response, if it is fine, otherwise I'll throw an timeout exception. I want to put some logging here also, so that I know that it happened from the logs itself. So there is a method on error resume. In here I can pass what exception am I expecting here, timeout exception dot class. Okay, and then what error it returned, and I can handle it now this way. I can, in here I can return mono dot error. So if this scenario will happen, so same thing, if my third while calling this endpoint, if it is not returning within 700 milliseconds, I'll get this exception here. But what happens, our third party is able to respond within this time, right? So I should simulate this one. Okay, so come to this one, come to product service here and go to the delete call that is there, and let's simulate that time here. So how to do that? Thread dot sleep, I want to wait here for 800 milliseconds. Okay, so that this way I will be able to simulate that scenario, because that place I have set a 700, still it is going to wait here for 800 milliseconds, and then it will move further. Okay, so I have to restart both the services. I will restart it, product this one, and this is the product client here, and this is the timed out and error resume here. So I will restart this service as well. This service is started. So now go to Postman. Coming to Postman. So let's create a product first. Okay, so give it some name. Let's say Java. So I'm creating this product. So I should be able to the success response. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so if I try to get it with ID 1, I will get this ID. So if I come to product client service, I am getting this got success response, and whatever logging that I have put, I am getting that. Okay, now coming to delete endpoints, where I have simulated this one, right? So this is the two ID 1 that I want to delete. So let's see. It is sending request. I got the internal server error and this, and it is returning in 876 millisecond. Okay, so let's see what is the exception that I got. Timeout exception null. I got the timeout exception. This is definitely there. Timed out is there, and this, there is no message as such because I did not pass anything. Okay, that is why it is coming. So if I pass it this way, I should be able to see this one, right? So it timed out, and it is giving me, right? So there is a tricky thing about timeout. When you have come to this point, your request actually has reached the server, but on your caller side, on your side, you have set a timeout, whether when your third party responds within this 700 millisecond, then you will respond, you will get the response. Otherwise you will continue the next block of code, you won't wait for the response. But the thing is that request has reached the third party, and that has started processing, but this is another thing, that it is not responding within your time. So there is a problem that happens. I got here this response that there is an internal server error, so that product should have not been deleted. But here is the trick. Go ahead and try to get that product. You got the 404 not found. Why? Because that product got actually deleted. This timeout setting is here, but the request has landed to the third party, right? So it has completed its processing. It is returning on later time. So keep in mind while setting the timeout and sort of thing, and what is the effect of this one. That's the point here. Okay, so this is the time. This is how we can set the timeout with any of the endpoint that we have here. Specific endpoint, a specific SLA that is there, we can set it here. So after timeout, there is a retry, right? So how to set the retry part? So retry is also pretty straightforward. It is a good thing with the web client. I can chain the methods very easily, right? So let's try to simulate that retry on this get product by ID. Okay, so what I do, so there is this method not in here actually, so I have to see that after which I want to, not this as well, body to mono, yeah, after this body to mono I can put the retry logic here. So retry, it is the default number of retry. There is different methods that you will get it. Retry, number of tries, how many times I want to retry it. Retry when, there is a retry spec that I can configure it. Retry block, and this is there. Okay, so I want to use this one, retry num tries, like I want to retry for 3 times. So by putting this retry, this will be retried by default, retried whatever times I have configured it, right? So there is that one other method, right? Retry when. Okay, retry spec I can pass it, retry dot fixed delay max attempts. I can pass like 3 attempts, and how much delay I want in these attempts. Just not like I want to just keep retrying. There is a fixed duration of like, let's say I'm saying 300 milliseconds. After 300 milliseconds, do these tries. Okay, and when it is done, I also want to put the logging that which retry it is. Okay, so there are methods like, you see, do retry after, do before retry. Okay, so these are the methods that I want to use before retry. So it accepts a single argument here, and I want to put the logging here. So total retries, how many retries it has done so far. I want to print this one. And similarly you can try do after retry. It also accepts a single argument here, so I want to print log dot total retries, failure or anything. I can like copy string total retries in a row. I can print these things. So let's try to print this one. So I will be able to get when before retrying and after retrying all these exception, and if retry is successful I will get the response, otherwise exception will be thrown. Okay, so let's try to simulate this one. So I will just restart this one. Okay, so now let's go ahead to Postman and try to get this product. So first let's create this product. Okay, Java, because the one I created had deleted this. So one is created, so just try to hit this one, and okay, there is some exception, no value present, product service. Okay, I got the 200 okay response from here. Okay, when it is present, I got, actually there is no, so retry happens when it is not there, that product that I want to find it, there is some sort of exception. This is also pretty important to see this one, right? Let's hit this again. I got the 200 response, right? So nothing to retry, because if something wrong is happening on the third party side, only then retry will happen. So let's try to get the second product. 404 not found. You see, now come to this one. It will make things clear. Okay, in here also I got retry has not happened actually. Not sure if it happened. It should have happened. No. Let's retry will happen when service is not running. Not this one. Yeah, this happened. Actually, I was looking at the wrong place here. Yeah, this is here. Retrying 0 after retry 1, retry 2, and all the instances it has thrown the internal server error record. So why it is returning every time it is returning 4 times internal server error record? So let's see, where is this? So this is coming here. So why it is coming 4 times? Let me just okay, I got it, why it is coming. Yeah, because here there are 2 methods actually, right? So I forgot to remove this one. So there are multiple retries happening actually. This retry 3 times is happening, and then after this it is happening. So that is why I'm getting that 4 times. So this should not be. I can chain multiple retries, but this was by mistake. That is why I'm seeing this 4 times. But the main important thing is this, that this retry is happening, retrying after retrying this one, this part is happening. Okay, so now let's try to do increase this one, and I will create that product in the meantime. Okay, let's see the fixed delay of max 10 attempts, and let's try to this in 1000, like after 1 second it should retry this one. Okay, so restart this service. So I will try to get a product by this one, and while it is retrying, in the meantime I will create that product. So let's see how it behaves. So what should happen? It should get that product in other try, and it should return that product to me. Okay, so this is the second product. So if I hit the first one, okay, I got the first product in this one, right? Without an issue, I got the first one. If I hit this again, first time there is some caching or sort of thing. That is why it took time. So now try to hit the second product. So now it will be retrying, right? 0, 1, 2, 3 it is happening. So now quickly create that product before it exhausts all the ways. So it got that. Coming to get now. Okay, 10 seconds. Actually it has passed that way. I was slow in that sense. Got success response. It executed later on actually. So let's try to get the third one. This time I will try to create this quickly. Yeah, I got the third product in here, right? So let's see how many retry happened. Yeah, retry 0, 1, 2. After second retry, it got that product and it returned from there. So it will try whatever time you have configured it here until it has got the success response from the third party. So when retry is needed, there are sometimes exception which is on the third party side, which is not very long. There can be there can be certain amount of time it is not available, but if you retry it, it should be I should be able to get the exception. I should be able to get the response. So in those cases, I should be able to configure it and I should be able to get the response. And this is what happened actually in this case, right? It was supposed to happen 10 retries, but on the second retry, I got the response. Don't get confused that it is minus, it is just this logging that is there. So retry part is also done. Now let's move to the next one that we have. That is what is the setting timeout and retry. Filters are there. Filters are pretty important. So coming to the client here, just stop this service. Filters. Let's when it comes to filters, I should be able to add that on the base WebClient level. I want to do what is my requirement actually. I want to log every request and response that is passing through WebClient. So that is what I'm going to add in here. So I have this builder base URL is there. If I hit here, I'll get this option, that filter. So it is accepting exchange filter function. I can implement it, and that's how filters will be called. So in here there is, I can use lambda, request and next here, and in here I can implement it. So log request, okay, and then similarly I can the filters are same way. If you have used REST template, there are filter interface, different kinds of filters are there. So you intercept the request and you call the next filter in the chain, right? So next dot, there is this method exchange, and you pass that request. You will get the response from this one. Okay, so I actually have to block it because it is coming in the form of mono, right? So I have to block it to get the complete thing, right? So I got the request. Let's say I want to print the status code. Yeah, that's it. So this filter is configured. So this, see how easy it is to add these filters. So I have to chain multiple filters. I can keep copying this thing here. So if, let's say that is the request, so simulate that it is executed properly, status 1 is status 1. I can, actual scenario is like you want to add a custom header into these requests before calling the third party. So I can add these filter, like I can add those headers in this request. So for simulation purpose, I'm just logging so that I can see that these filters are executed here. Okay, so request, if I print this request, it will be just request object, but I want to print more things out of this one. So like request dot http request dot get. So to get out of this one, because this is I believe this is just the interface, so I should be able to cast them into http request. If I write it this way, I should be able to get that. Make it one so that we are able to identify that these two filters are there. Okay, they will be executed in sequence. So let's restart the service. So any request I make from the web client, whether it is a create, get, delete, put, anything, I should be able to get these logs in our system on console. So our service has started. So now hit this. So I will create a product. Okay, so hit this. Okay, got the internal server error. Let's see what is wrong. Cannot be cast to this one. It should be actually. So let's try to remove this, and okay, I think this is my bad. What am I doing? Actually, this is not the get method, but it has this method. My bad, completely my bad. URL is there. Okay, so this is how it should be able to work properly. There is no need to cast into the HTTP request. So let's restart this service again. Okay, so clearing this out, now try to hit this again. Yeah, I got the success response. The main purpose that I wanted here, like all the request and response. Request method, response 200, got success response. All the loggings I got it here, right? And this is pretty important to see. All the filters will be configured in such a way that first request will be the logs before the exchange method will be executed. It will be passed on to the next filter. This will be executed, and after that we will get the responses, right? Actual calls, after the actual call to third party happens, then we will get the response, and this will be printed. And this is pretty clear from this one. It's not like that filter is there and this line is executed and this is executed. This is executed, next dot exchange is there, this calls the next filter in the chain, then this will call the next filter in the chain, and ultimately it will execute the methods that is actually to be executed in here. Then it will return from here in the reverse order. You see, you got the response 1 first, and then you got the response 200. So first all the requests, and then in the reverse order, or all the responses are printed in here. So this is how you can chain the multiple filters. So if you read about Spring security, there is a pretty good use case of the filters there. There are a lot of filter chained there. For a very good understanding about filter, try to read those internal structure of the Spring security, how that works. So this is about filter, that how we can configure it. So the next, I think, final part is this logging and debugging, how it can be done. Okay, so let's see this loggings. We have done pretty good amount of like these filters and all that, but there are also that that are available there that I can use for the logging. Let's see what are those. Get, delete. So let's try to put something somewhere in some other endpoint that we have not done yet. So we have this, right? Get products by name, right? So let's body to flux is there. Inside that there is this method log. This is pretty one liner is there, but it will add a lot of things in here. Okay, so let's let me add this in the get by id as well. Dot log, not in here. After this body to mono, I believe it is there. Yeah, it is there. So if you see the documentation of this, what it says, the default log category followed by a new mono that logs signals. So you see the web client comes from the reactive family. So whatever signals are there, I should be able to get in this one with this log. So let's see what it prints, and we will see what it is printing, that one. So there are other methods as well. Do on success, do on subscribe. This accepts one methods, and this one I can log dot info. Subscribed, and let's see what this subscribe is there. Let's print this one. There are many things actually. Get class, get weight, subscription will we will see more about subscription when we are covering the reactive nature of this one. This mono flux reactive web services we are creating, we will see more about this one. There is another method, do on success. Okay, this also accepts one arguments, log.info success. Okay, just print this, and if there is any error, do on error is there, I can print this one. Log.error, errored out. Okay, so yeah, this is how I can logging and debugging is something, how much information I can log. There should be a proper balance. I am not logging too much, but for the sake of demo, I have put a lot of things like retry, do on success, and on this one on a single method itself. But in actual production scenario that you are doing the coding, it should not be the case. It should be as per the use case that is there. So let's give it last restart and try to see this finally in action. Okay, service is started, so clear this out and go to Postman and try to get the product. So that is, let's try to hit the first product. Okay, I got the success as a response, and see the logs now. This is the logs that is coming from the base label. It is coming from the on subscribe, subscribed, request unbound, on next, success, on complete. So this is something that is coming from this is subscribed is coming from get product by ID. So see, subscribe is this one, success is also coming. There was no error, that is why it is not coming. We had put this dot log, that is why we are getting these signals, on subscribe, request, on next, and on complete. These are the signals, request, on next, on complete, and on subscribe. These are the signals of the reactive family that we are getting here. So as needed, put this if a deep debugging is needed, otherwise it is not needed at all. So that's all about this video. We covered a lot about web client basics. We covered exception handling, timeout, retry, filters, logging, and debugging. So the next in the web client thing is, if you know about how to create the reactive web services using Mono and Flux, you can use other methods like on subscribe, on next, on sort of things. That should be pretty easy, but I'll cover those when I'll create the reactive web services. So till then, take care. Bye bye.